Never cut towards yourself. So this is the least expensive design I could think of that'll still offer a decent amount of rigidity for most entry to mid-level wheelbases. This knife is extremely impractical, by the way. This is not a good knife to have for pretty much anything. So yeah, this is what we're working with. This is called aluminum extrusion. They didn't get all the aluminum shavings off there, but we'll deal with that. But yeah, it's cut to your specifications. You know, whatever is best for your setup, they're gonna cut it perfectly. So if you need a bunch of the same sizes, tnuts.com will definitely do that for you. But we didn't get all the same sizes. We got a bunch of different sizes. There's gonna be a link in the description to everything you see here. Just a single link, and as soon as you click it, it'll put everything you see here in the cart, and you can build this yourself. I scratched my aluminum extrusion, no! These are the brackets. Oop. These aren't as strong because they don't have the gusset in between. You know, they have a long slot in it, so you can actually do more with these than the gusseted version of these. And they're cheaper, of course. These are the main rods. So the rest of these should be just corner brackets, hardware, all the same length. And we got two beefy boys. Those are the big dogs right there. That's gonna provide some serious rigidity. So what we're gonna start off with is building the frame. So you wanna get your two 17-inch over here. These are gonna be for your pedal tray. One of these is gonna be for the wheelbase. So we're gonna set that aside. And two of these are gonna be for your seat rails. This will be the only tool that you need for the entire build, a 5mm Allen key. So first of all, a little technique that has been passed down to me generation to generation, of sim racer to sim racer. You know, you get your hardware first, right? So all your corner pieces, put them together like this. Just give it a couple threads, right? So it's just barely hanging on both sides. And then when you put a joint together, such as this right here, line it up, slide it on. Of course, this was not cooperating. There you go. So I'm gonna put all these together and then we'll cut away and then we'll just start sliding them on. So on the main rails here, you're gonna want the slotted sides to be in there. Now you can just put these on the end here. And then we can just slide it on through. And then set her down. Now we'll take our two seat rails and do the same thing. Now this one's sliding on the top. And again, you want the slotted portion on the seat rails rather than the main rails. Now same thing. Just angle them up to where you want them and then slide them through. Now this is not an intimidating build process as long as you do it the right way. And there's your base here. So, okay, now we'll slide through. This is gonna be your main point for the wheelbase to kind of ride on here. So these are pretty important. Let's get the hardware on these. I forgot to do that. We'll do one side at a time. That way it won't be falling all over the place. Now we kind of just hold them like that. And then give it one or two spins. It kind of feels like loading a revolver. Kind of cool looking. Pop that bad boy through. Okay, I'm just now realizing that this should have been the first piece that I put in the rig here. It should have been like this, and I should have just been able to slide down the rail. But you can still save this. All you gotta do is take out the two on the this side, and then slide them down, roughly to where they would be, because we can move them later. And then put this in position, pop that in. Just line up the nut holes with these two slots. So yes, you would be better off doing this first. There's no point in wrenching anything down because we don't know exactly where things need to go just yet. You know, depending on your setup, depending on your pedals, your wheelbase, everything's gonna be kind of dynamic. Okay, so now that we got all this stuff done, it's time to build the second half, the wheelbase half. So I'll move this stuff so we can get a clear look at what we're doing. So I'll see you in a moment, fellows and fellettes. Well, dang, it's a damn different day, isn't it? Okay, now that we got our uprights here, the next step is to get 4 angle brackets with the slots. We want 2 with an open bolt on the slotted side and 2 with the, both filled up there. We want the open screw slotted side facing towards the middle. Okay, on both sides here. Same thing for the other side, just mirror it. Right, so we have a total of 6 more angle brackets left, or there should be. So we want a total of 4 on this thing. And you want the slotted to be facing up. So, like this. Now on the opposite side, do the same thing. Slotted needs to be facing up. Give her a snug. Okay, this is how this part should look. Slotted side should be facing up. Now it's the same side as this back side here. You want to take the unslotted side and slide it in, facing outward. Same thing on the other side. Slotted towards the uprights. Now we can screw in the ends. Again, make sure your slotted side is towards the threaded portion so we can slide up and down like that. And we're gonna slide these bad boys on the first channel. And there we go. So now you can kind of see the purpose in this setup here. I designed it to where you can rotate this however you need to, and there's gonna be support on the inside and the outside. So let's say you want it like an extreme angle, you can just tighten it up like that. Or if you want it straight towards you, you can do that too. Go ahead and tighten it up, just snug. It doesn't need to be super tight. But this is gonna be highly adjustable, so you can get it at whatever angle, whatever height you want. And this is specifically geared towards CSL DD users, but you can adapt this to pretty much any wheelbase here. So now we just line it up. Now we want this to go all the way down to the ground. By the end of the video, we will attach a CSL DD to this. So don't worry, that is coming. And we'll attach some pedals to it as well and show you some of the options there. Like I'm not gonna go ham on it because it's not all the way tightened down, but this thing is solid as hell. I mean, if I wanted to, I could, do some dips on it or whatever. So let me give you a closer look at the adjustments here. So down here on each side, if you just undo this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and this bolt, we can slide this whole upright section forward and backward. Feature number 2 is, of course, our seat area here. We can slide these wherever we want, front and back. We can raise it up and down a little bit. This area right here will accommodate many different wheelbases, but specifically I designed it for the CSL DD, and I'll show you that in a moment. And we can slide these front and back so we can get the most amount of purchase. And as you saw earlier, if we loosen this up a little bit, we can raise and lower this thing up and down however we please, and we can also rotate it. The pedal area is also very adjustable. We can rotate this like this, and we can get a bit of an angle here. And then if you absolutely need some more height to your uprights, you can actually bring it up flush to here. You don't have to have it down touching the ground. So the spacing from the edge of the bracket to the edge of this bracket should be 7 7/8. So you want to make sure your front nuts have the larger side facing towards the back and your rear nuts opposite. So you can leave the back ones loose because they'll follow in suit here. So again, these need to be pointed towards the rear, and the rear ones need to be pointed towards your face. So you just slide it on in the channels there, give it a little nose nudge, and that should be on there. So after you've confirmed that this is all the way back, go ahead and tighten up the fronts. Just snug them up. Now we're gonna need to push these, the bolt heads, manually as far forward as they'll go, and then tighten them up. Now at this point, you can also tighten down the rears here because they're lined up now. It's okay that this whole thing is a little bit flexy right now. We just want to make sure the unit is solid on this bar because we still need to make adjustments where everything is positioned. Next, we're going to mount our pedals. And in my case, I'm going to be mounting these V3 pedals. So now you're going to need 4 T-nuts and 4 screws. We're going to rotate these bars. So you want this part to be almost flat on the ground, but we're going to rotate it just to where we can slide in a couple of these bad boys. Make sure if you got a hair on the ground, incorporate that into the build. Lovely. We're gonna want this one to be facing up. If we have a pedal set that's made to be flat, we can just do that. So for these particular pedals, we're gonna have to take these rubber feet off. So if you got like little rubber feet on your pedals, you may need to take them off. If it gets down to it, you might need to get slightly longer hardware, but I don't think this should be a problem for most people. And if you do end up needing different hardware or longer hardware, these are M8 screws with a 1.25 thread pitch. We'll do the front here just because it's easier for now. So you can see that gives you a kind of a nice angle, and we can even make it a little bit more if we lift it up. So that's what we're gonna do. Back all the way, and then we're gonna lift up. And now we're gonna tighten the insides here. Don't tighten anything too much because this is not the final position. Until you put the seat down and you know where the wheel's gonna be, you have no idea how everything's gonna work out just yet, you know? We might have to adjust the pedal faces here as well, so hopefully you have an adjustable pedal set, but if you don't, this will be suitable. It'll work, you know? So now all you have to do is add a seat. I don't really have to explain that. And I chose 20-inch wide here because I think this will accommodate most seats. It'll give the rig more stability being 20 inches wide. But once we get a seat in, we'll pop it on and then we'll do a first drive. But this is the end of part 1. Welcome to your new rig. I guess we should probably do the final touch, huh? So stay tuned for part 2. Have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future tutorial.